What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 12th Horseshoe podcast here on Surge Sports TV. Alongside my partner, Elijah Weintraub, Jack Rizzo here with you guys. Welcome back to our show. Thank you so much for joining. Happy Friday. Week 6 of the NFL season is officially underway. Eli, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. What a happy Friday. What a weekend. And let's get it all started right here.
Let's get right into it with let's start with the recap of last night's game. Now, it was not a great night for Eli last night because not only did the Devils lose, but his Seahawks lost at home to the San Francisco.
He had to mention it, so we have to get him off the screen.
Final score 29.
Nope, 36-24. Get it right.
36-24. I'm sorry. 36. I was looking at the wrong screen. I'm sorry.
Look at the teleprompter, Jack. Read it in front of you.
I don't have a teleprompter. 36-24 the final. 49ers won by 12. We both got this pick right. The Niners were favored by 3, so they covered the spread. A lot of offense in this game, not so much defense, but Seattle was down by 20 at one point. Made it a 7-point game, but San Francisco ultimately ran away with it at the end. Eli, tell us what went wrong with Seattle in this one.
A lot of defensive injuries. That was the bottom line. Defense was definitely struggling. There were a lot of defensive injuries. Geno Smith is not the answer. Everybody keeps saying he's the answer. He is not the answer. Yes, he did great for the first couple of games, but now we're seeing the decline of the Seattle Seahawks. Now they just lost their third straight game. They lost to the Lions. They lost last week to the Giants, and now they just lost to the San Francisco 49ers. They're now 3-3 on the season. What was supposed to be a very hyped year is no longer that. I mean, and that's because Geno Smith could win against easy teams, but against these tough teams, it is hard. And now we got to say the Giants are a tough team because whenever their Giants are in Seattle, they are a tough team. San Francisco had everybody ready, and they were ready to go. They were dying for a comeback win, and they did get it last night in a big, orderly fashion with the big win over Seattle. For Seattle next week, it's going to be tough. It ain't going to be easy. I ain't going to lie. They really need to bounce back in a big way, and there's not much more I can say. For the San Francisco 49ers, they're the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, there's not much more to say there. Seattle has Atlanta next week. San Francisco, I believe, will have, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to double check on that.
Kansas City.
They will have Kansas City. That's going to be tough for them, really tough next week. But for Seattle, all I know is it's going to be a rough road ahead, and I think it's time for Seattle to pick up a quarterback. Geno Smith is not the answer.
Yeah, I agree, Eli. He's struggling. Seattle 3-0 start is completely pointless now. They're 3-3, back to 500. We'll see what happens there. But it's a big win for San Francisco on the road. All right, let's get to some week 6 picks. We are starting off our Sunday early once again. Starting off with a 9:30 game in London exclusively on NFL Network. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who are basically the London Jaguars at this point, will play against the Chicago Bears. This game is the Bears are the home team for this game. They're the NFC has the extra game this year, so they host all the international games this year, except for the one that Jacksonville has next week. The Bears are favored by 2.5 here. Jacksonville got their first win last week. The Bears are playing well. I know the Jaguars are 1-4, Eli, and this might surprise people, but I'm gonna start it off my picks off this week with my upset of the week right here. First game of the week is my upset of the week. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to win in London 23-14. The Jags don't lose in London. It's that simple. That's why I'm picking them. Trevor Lawrence had the game of his career last week. I think the Jags defense is going to cause some rookie mistakes from Caleb Williams, and I ultimately think they pick up this London win. My upset of the week. How about you, Eli?
Wow. I mean, and by the way, the spread has changed to 1 point for Chicago in favor. So, I mean, not really an upset, but okay. For my upset, not my upset, but it's not my upset pick of the week, but I am taking Jacksonville in the win here, 26-23. Jacksonville does play better in London, and I think they're going to get the win over Caleb Williams and the Bears, who will now be heading over to London, and we'll see how it goes from there.
I'm shocked we actually are both picking Jacksonville for that game. Next up, game of the week right here, 1 p.m. on CBS, the Battle of Maryland. The Washington Commanders travel not too far north to take on their in-state rivals, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are a nearly touchdown favorite here in this one. It should be a great game, Eli. 2 awesome quarterbacks, 2 great defenses, a lot of weapons on both sides. The Commanders are surprising 4-1. The Ravens 3 straight wins. What are you looking forward to the most in this game? It's going to be a great one, Eli.
Well, it's one of the best games to watch out for in the 1 o'clock window. What I'm looking for in this game here is for Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders to play football like they did in the past few games. Even though last week they played Cleveland, Cleveland's been struggling a lot. I feel like Commanders need to continue what they did there and put that into perspective when they take on this Baltimore team. It ain't going to be easy. It's definitely going to be tough, but the Washington Commanders can absolutely do it. And that for those reasons, for my upset pick of the week, I'm taking the Washington Commanders to win this game in a close one, 38-35. Baltimore's been cutting a lot of overtime games in the past week, a couple. I think the Commanders can get it done here. 38-35, upset pick of the week, Washington.
I'm shocked that the Ravens are favored by that much here against a really strong Washington team. But, the Ravens just feel like a team where if a hot team runs into them, they often, get slowed down by the Ravens. We saw it with the Lions last year, with the Bills this year, with several other teams. The Ravens have been like a reality check for so many teams. I think Jaden Daniels is finally going to have a bit of a sloppy game. He's not going to be perfect as a rookie. So I think the Ravens defense steps up a little bit. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are about as good as it gets right now in the backfield. And because the Ravens are at home, I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens here to win at home 38-27. It's going to be close. The Commanders are going to come to play, but ultimately I think the Ravens and their experience allows them to win this game. Next up, we have Browns at Eagles at 1 p.m. on Fox. The Eagles are 8.5-point favorites this week. That's the biggest margin of the week. Eagles getting a ton of their starters back, coming off the bye week. Meanwhile, the Browns look like maybe the worst team in the NFL right now. I'm going to make this short and sweet, Eli. The Eagles are at home. A.J. Brown's back. Devontae Smith is back. Lane Johnson is back. Give me the Eagles to win 27-6, and that is going to be my survivor pick of the week. So give me the Eagles at home.
All right. Well, in this game, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Listen, the Browns have been struggling. The Eagles are the Eagles. They've been struggling as well, but they're the better team to look out for. Survivor pick of the week, Eagles 28-10.
All right, let's go on to the next game. We have Buccaneers at Saints, 1 p.m. on Fox. This game is taking place down in New Orleans. Actually, there are two divisional matchups this week in the NFC South. We'll get to the other one later. No Derek Carr for the Saints here in this game because of the injury. Also, no Rachaad White, the Bucs' top running back right now. So certainly some injuries to keep an eye out for. And the Bucs are now 3.5-point favorites here on the road. Should be an interesting one, Eli. Big divisional matchup for both of these teams, especially for the Bucs coming off that loss to Atlanta last week. Who do you think wins this game, Eli? Should be a pretty tight one. He's muted.
Sorry, Jack again muted me. So in this game,
I didn't
again,
mute you.
it's gonna be a very tough game, of course, out there tonight. I'm joking, Jack. It's okay. Take a joke. It's all right. It's okay.
Make your pick. Go ahead. Make your pick.
Okay.
Who are you taking? Come on, Eli. Who are you taking?
Okay, calm down, Jack. Stop pressuring me. For my pick of the week, listen, I'm going to look at this game very closely here. The Saints struggled last week on Monday night versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Buccaneers is up and down team that they'll win one game, lose another game. It depends on the type of day. Tampa Bay's really been struggling now. I feel like they're going to have a lot on their plate considering what just happened with Hurricane Milton and Tampa Bay area, which we, of course, send our thoughts and prayers to everybody who's passing, of course, the community effort and cleanup. They did lose Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays for baseball. We will see what they do there. But regardless of all the hurricane stuff, regardless of everything happened, my pick of the week is going to be Tampa Bay 2025. They got a lot on their plate, and I think they're going to want this win and do it for the city of Tampa Bay.
I'm going with the Bucs as well here, Eli. I think not having Derek Carr is going to hurt the Saints. I think the Bucs are, I think their defense is going to bounce back after the performance last week. I like Tampa Bay here 31-22 to win this game.
Absolutely.
Next up, Drake May making his debut for the Patriots at home, taking on the Houston Texans, 1 p.m. on CBS. Texans are favored here by a touchdown. Again, Eli, similar to the Eagles, this isn't really going to take too much time for me. The Texans have had some close games the last couple of weeks. This is a get-right game for them, a game to show everybody why they are so good and for them to get ready for the bigger competition coming up. I think the defense completely shuts down this offense. New England's and their Houston's and CJ Stroud has a big game here on the road. This is my lock of the week, Eli. Really didn't have to think twice about this one. Texans win 24-3.
I mean, same here. I mean, it has to be the Houston Texans, and that's my lock of the week as well, 24-21. I'm keeping it close for a reason. They love to make close games. Regardless of who the opponent is, they're always close games. For those reasons, I'm taking the Texans 24-21 in my lock of the week.
All right, thank you, Eli. Next up, we have an AFC South matchup between my Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans down in Nashville. Both teams appear to be getting their young quarterbacks back this week from injury. The Titans are 2.5-point favorites here at home. Should be an interesting one, Eli. Feels like a must-win for both of these teams. We'll see what happens, Joe. But right now, who do you trust more, Anthony Richardson or Will Levis to protect the football? Who do you trust more right now?
None of the above, really. I mean,
You gotta pick one. Just pick one.
Joe Flacco.
That's not enough, Eli. If you had to pick one of these two quarterbacks to start for Seattle next week, which one would you choose?
Joe Flacco.
Now, Anthony Richardson or Will Levis? Answer my
Anthony
question.
Richardson's not healthy. He's not playing. Is he?
He is playing.
Oh,
He
he
is
will
gonna
play.
play. Yes.
That's disappointing. Joe Flacco.
Why?
Joe Flacco was better.
Okay, Eli, but Joe Flacco's not the future of the Colts. He's 40 years old.
And what has Anthony Richardson done?
Okay, well, first of all, the Colts we're not supposed to be good this year. We need to get the reps
Yeah,
in with
okay,
him.
sure. Colts.
Eli doesn't know
Colts
Colts
win
football.
by
He
a
doesn't watch
landslide,
Colts.
23-22. Colts win by a landslide, 23-22.
I don't know if a 1 point. I don't know if a 1 point win, Eli, is a landslide by any means. To be quite honest, that's
Just
doesn't really
barely
make
the
sense.
landslide. That's what you understand what I'm referring to.
But also, I don't know what Eli's saying about Joe Flacco. That just shows that he does not watch the Colts every Sunday like I do. But
Joe
anyways,
Flacco was playing great when he had the opportunity.
okay, so he's not the future. I'd rather honestly lose more games than get to the playoffs, get eliminated in the first round, and then have a mid-round pick next year.
Okay.
Either way, though, I'm taking the Colts to win this game 26-23. They're getting a lot of their starters back this week from injury, with the exception of Jonathan Taylor. And I think they force enough pressure on Will Levis, and the Colts ultimately get the win here on the road.
Okay. Plain and simple.
Next up, let's get to we have one more game in the 1 o'clock window. Cardinals at Packers, 1 p.m. on Fox. Green Bay, 5.5 point favorites here at home, coming off that big win over the Rams. Actually, both these teams coming off big wins. Cardinals over the 49ers, Packers over the Rams. If this game was in Arizona, I'd probably pick the Cardinals, but it's up at Lambeau. Really tough to win up there.
Okay,
I think.
Just want to clarify, Jason. I made a mistake. Okay, I meant landslide as very close to a landslide. I forget it.
Well, either way, I'm taking the Packers to win here by 29-21. I think Jordan Love continues his resurgence. I think he's going to have a really big next couple of weeks. The Packers have some really tough games coming up after this one. So it's like it feels like a tune-up game for them, but don't underestimate the Cardinals. But I feel like the Packers could win this game by more than one score, Eli, but I have too much faith in the Cardinals to think that, but I'm taking Green Bay here 29-21.
Packers are really going to be struggling in this game. I mean, and both is wrong. Cardinals are going to be struggling. I'm not paying attention clearly. Cardinals are definitely going to be struggling in this game. Packers are going to come with a big win here. 32-28. I want to clarify it was the Cardinals. I've been struggling. Landslide was wrong. I did not refer to say landslide in the Colts pick. I want to clarify that. I did not mean to say that. Thank you. Next.
Chargers Broncos, 4:05 p.m. on CBS. The Broncos, all of a sudden now a 3-game winning streak after starting 0-2. Meanwhile, the Chargers kind of trending in the opposite direction. They've lost 2 straight after a 2-0 start coming off their bye week. Looks like Justin Herbert's going to be back, but this game's in Denver, Eli. I don't really care if Justin Herbert's back. I'm picking the Broncos to win this game 21-18 in this one, Eli. The Broncos have absolutely dominated the Chargers at home. The last time the Chargers beat the Broncos on the road was 2018. So the Broncos have absolutely dominated them up in Mile High, and that's why I'm taking them to win this game. I think the defense is another big showing for Denver.
All right. Well, I mean, clearly it's going to be Denver, right? So it's going to be Denver 24-18, bottom line.
Remember last year when Eli would never pick the Broncos because they had Russell Wilson? It took him to like week
now they're
14.
actually winning games. They're going to beat the Chargers. The Broncos are good again because, again, no Russell Wilson.
It took Eli until week 14 last year to pick the Broncos, by the way.
Really wanted to trade Russell Wilson, not to Seattle. Just saying.
Well, now we're gonna go from Russell
Wilson's
quarterback. Yeah, well, now we're gonna go from Russell Wilson's former
there you go.
Eli.
Broncos all day. There you go.
Yes. All right. Now we're gonna go from Russell Wilson's former team to Russell Wilson's current team, although he's not starting for them. The Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders, although the Steelers fans will probably take over that stadium. The Steelers, a slight road favorite here. I'm taking the Steelers 16-10. That defense is just too good to play, as bad as they have the last couple of weeks. I think Justin Fields does just enough to get the win here, but really it's going to be all about the Steelers defense here in this one. So give me the Steelers.
Listen, Vegas is definitely going to try to push hard for this game, but I think the Steelers are just going to be the better team. They're trying to get that bounce back win, especially after what they struggled with last week versus Dallas, especially with the lightning delay. In Las Vegas, Steelers will get the win 21-17.
All right, thank you, Eli. Well, next one. If Commanders-Ravens is a game of the week, this is game of the week. Lions at Cowboys, 4:25 on Fox. The Lions coming off their bye week. The Cowboys coming off that big win against the Steelers. The Lions are a 3.5 point favorite here on the road. I think there's going to be a lot of offense in this one, Eli. I think the Lions are hungry after getting screwed by the refs last year against the Cowboys. I think we see a big game from Amon-Ra St. Brown, big game from Jahmyr Gibbs, big game from Jared Goff, And ultimately, I think the Lions win this one in a pretty high-scoring one, 35-24. So I'm going with the Lions here on the road to get the revenge against the Cowboys. Eli?
Lions take the victory here, 32-26. I feel like regardless who wins this game, whether my pick is right or wrong, they're going to somehow blow out the other team. I mean, look at the Dallas Cowboys. They've not been playing the best football ever. I mean, yes, they did win last week versus Steelers, but I feel like eventually one of these teams will blow the opponent out. I feel like Lions are going to be the better team entering this game, especially, they had a bye last week. So I think they're going to be healthy and ready to go. So I'm going to take the Lions.
All right, good pick, Eli. Next up, Falcons at Panthers, 425 on Fox. The Falcons now in first place in the NFC South. They are a 6-point favorite here on the road. That Panthers win over the Raiders seems like a mirage at this point. I'm taking the Falcons to win here 24-10. That defense is really good. I think Kirk Cousins starting to get into the rhythm. So I'm taking the Falcons here. They continue to grow their lead in this division.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really sloppy game for a 425 game on Fox. I mean, it's clear and simple here. The winner of this game
America's game of the week
will clearly be the Atlanta Falcons, 24-9.
Yes.
I mean, there is no argue there. Atlanta will win it.
Wow, 24-9. That's almost exactly what I had. We're just off by 1 point with Carolina. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Eli. This is game of the week. My bad. Definitely game of the week right here. On Sunday Night Football, 8:20 on NBC. The 1-4 Cincinnati Bengals face the 2-3 New York Giants. This is America's game of the week. Nobody's going to be watching the Mets on Sunday night in game 1 of the NLCS. Come on now. Everyone's going to be watching this amazing Sunday night game. The first game between Joe Burrow and Daniel Jones ever. I hope you guys know I was joking because I clearly was. Daniel Jones is 1-12 in primetime in his career. Enough said. Give me the Bengals 20-15.
The Giants just came off a big win last week versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Actually, 1-13 in primetime. My bad. Daniel Jones is 1-13.
The Seahawks have been struggling. The Bengals have been struggling these past couple games. They're barely lucky to get the wins that they got. And I mean, that one win to be exact. But regardless, needless to say, the Giants are going to get the upset in this one, 24-22. Not my upset pick of the week, but the Giants will get an upset win over the Bengals, 24-22 in a close one.
That's only the second.
And the weather's looking good. That's what matters. No rain.
Oh, thank goodness. That's only the second game that Eli and I have agreed on this whole week.
Disagreed on. My
bad. Disagreed on. One more game, Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. exclusively on ESPN. The Bills taking on the Jets. It's here, guys. Once again, it's here after the Week 1 game last year. The NFL definitely put this in the script. Bills 2.5-point favorites here, coming off 2 straight losses. Meanwhile, the Jets will be making the debut of interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich. But I'm taking the Bills here 21-16. I think they bounce back and get back on track in the win column.
Let's just remember this, folks. The last time Aaron Rodgers played the Buffalo Bills in MetLife Stadium was again on Monday Night Football. And guess what happened? He ran out with the American flag. 4th play of the game, the Achilles win. If he runs out with the American flag again, say goodbye to Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Originally, I had picked the Jets to win before the whole Robert Saleh announcement was made. After that, I just feel that this team is a Aaron Rodgers organization who is nothing but a failure to this team. And I'm going to be plain up and simple, and I'll just say that for the facts and the truth. I'm absolutely disappointed with what the Jets have done. Their defense is gone. Everything's gone. I still somehow feel like it's going to be a close game because that's just how it's going to be. But the Bills get the win 24-20. But don't be surprised it gets ugly, though.
All right, that is going to do it for our Week 6 picks here on Surge Sports TV. Make sure you join Eli tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on Sports with Mano Mano with Jim Monahan right here. You can watch on Surge Sports on the Mano Mano channel or on Facebook, wherever you find your stuff. Then join Eli and I for the call of the Sabre Gills homecoming game at home against Pompton Lakes at 1 p.m. Join us next Tuesday for our recap show for Week 6. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Elijah Weintraub, Jack Rizzo signing off. Go Colts, go Rangers. Good night.
Go Seahawks, go Devils. Goodbye.